I did not push record. And now you're getting the inside scoop to how it actually goes down. All right. Cheers to that. Okay. Happy Valentine. Okay. Hey, everyone.
Thank God you noticed.
I know. All right.
Okay.
Start over.
Take 2. Let's go.
Let's go. Take 2.
You found us. I'm glad you did, but I'm sorry you had to. Who are we? We're 4 mothers, all living in Austin, introduced to each other because we all share a similar tragedy. Our husbands died, unexpectedly and in the prime of their lives. So come sit in on our Widow Circle where trauma meets humor, and we remind you can not only survive, but thrive. This is Every Widow Thing.
All right. Hey, everyone. It's Whitney from Every Widow Thing.
And Holly.
And Keira.
And we are so excited to do our first live podcast.
Oh my God, that was even better the second year. Yeah. Amazing. You guys are amazing.
Yes, we've got a lot of energy in this house. We're super excited. The whole weekend has been incredible. We went to the Mean Eyed Cat on Friday night. We met like over 25, 30 people were there.
There were so many
like.
people. All of you and so many more.
And what I have already said, because this is our second try at this, is that
Everyone over the cord.
Everyone that came to the event, I know, everyone that came to the event was ready to be lifted up into light. It wasn't like, I want to sit in the dark part of this, which it can be very dark. So the people that came out, some of them were 6 weeks in, 8 months in, 2 years, 5 years, and everyone was showing up. And showing up is what we're trying to do with this podcast. Like, grief is everywhere. Let's fucking talk about it.
Yes.
You know, let's teach people how to show up for it, because that is something that I didn't know how to do before I was a widow. One of my dear friends is here. She's the first widow I ever met, and her baby was 3, just shy of 3 when her husband passed away. And I met her in kindergarten class with my son. I didn't know what to say or do for her and fumbled through it. I mean, she's still my friend and is here tonight, so I guess I did okay.
Hey, Jenny. Yeah.
But Jennifer, yeah. But I didn't know how to show up for people. So I feel like when we teach how to handle grief in a kind of a public way, but in a healthy way, it's helping everyone. So the people that showed up last night, you were leaning on each other, you were teaching each other. It was like,
there was crying, there was laughing.
It was
fun.
incredible.
Everybody was having fun.
Yeah. And that's something that I think a lot of widows and widowers need to understand. There's still fun. You're going to still have some fun, right? Life is not over. Yes, you have to deal with the death, and that is horrifying, and it's forever. But you're going to laugh. You're going to have enjoyment. You're going to have new connections. And talking to people here tonight, it's been incredible. And some of the connections are very interesting. I won't go into too much detail, but
we're going to get to all that.
I'm hot.
I am just super proud of everyone for coming out last night and tonight. The people that traveled from Baton Rouge and Colorado and California, Chicago, and all over the country.
All over. So
and our locals who
San
are supporting
Antonio.
each other. Thanks for coming and being a part of this with us.
California. Did you say California?
I did. I think.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers to us, everybody. Cheers. All right. We got a couple of shout outs that we're going to do quickly, since this will be the second time.
Really quickly.
Okay. Are you going or me?
Am I going? I'll go. Okay. We had Maudie's Tex-Mex tonight. It was delicious. We have yummy Yes Please treats, locally owned, clean ingredients. Yes, please, all the time. They're so good.
Yes, please.
We have a house that's been a weekend at
on our
Holly's
auction.
house.
We have an auction going until tomorrow at 3 p.m. My house in Round Top, which includes a gift card to Round Top Brewing, which is my favorite restaurant, and one of my good friends owns it. And my property manager, Hosty, Vacation Rentals will donate is going to provide a wine and charcuterie board upon your arrival. And they're amazing. I also want to shout out to my where I work, Wendy Wells Jewelry, for donating the beautiful diamond heart bracelet.
And something for our swag bag that you guys will get later.
Yes,
Yes,
and
also
she
from
also
Wendy.
donated,
Something in the swag bag.
We also
all
have the
have
Empress
on.
hats in the swag bag, the every widow thing.
We're not telling them what's in the swag bag.
Should we not?
You're interrupting
No,
me.
it's gonna
You're
be-
interrupting me. I'm on a roll. Okay.
Okay, back to you.
Also, want to shout out to Empress Hats, our hats that we wore last night. She's amazing, and you may find something in your swag bag. And also,
Fucked up already.
wait, and Gossamer Cashmere, who Keira owns, which I have on tonight, is also in the auction. So,
Yeah.
is that
Lots. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
okay?
Yeah.
Like looking at my notes.
I think that's it.
Okay.
So tonight is about connection. I really feel connected to all of you. And it's not just because our husbands died or our wives died. It's because we want to move forward in a different way. Jeff, shout out to Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff.
But we're all here because we want to move forward in a different way than what other people may think grief looks like. We're all grieving, but that doesn't mean we're not laughing. It doesn't mean we're not having a great time. It just means that there's a deeper heaviness that we're going to carry with us for the rest of our lives. It just is what it is. And that doesn't mean that life has to stop. And that is what we are trying to give to new widows, old widows, widowers. And by old, I mean like,
Probably old.
as soon as I said it, I was like,
Nobody like
no.
that. No.
What I edited that. What that'll be edited out. What I meant was longtime widows, because it's a learning experience for the rest of our lives, because this isn't going away. We will always have a place in our hearts for our people. And that doesn't mean that other people, we don't have room for new people. We do, but we're always going to miss that person. And that's normal. That's okay. So, and you can still laugh, you can still have a good time, and we're connecting with people. And I loved this weekend getting to know the people that showed up. And thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. And so in that line of connection, you know, and Valentine's night, we want to kind of talk about the way we connect, maybe through some dating stories, or I think each of us have some stories, some sign stories. I don't know what y'all's stories are.
Were we going to talk about like Valentine stories?
I don't know what your story is.
I think we were going to share some Valentine's memories, maybe some dating stories, and then maybe some signs that we got from our person.
Yes.
And we'd like to open it up to whoever wants to share here in the room. You don't have to. You can if you want. And
Everybody take another shot. Up to the mic.
fill up your glasses.
Yeah. But Keira, did you have a story? I felt like you were saving something you wanted to.
I feel like everyone's heard so many of my stories, but no, I mean, I thought we would just kick it off like talking about Valentine's Day, because it's Valentine's Day.
It
and yeah, and you know, maybe if somebody has a special memory or they want to talk about how they celebrated with their spouse. My spouse Frank and I, we didn't do anything like major on Valentine's. We had kids. We always did have like go out to
You had
dinner.
kids
We always
the whole time?
we had kids. Yeah. Well, in the beginning, no. When we didn't have kids in the beginning, but then one Valentine's Day,
When's Valentine's
things
Day?
got wild. Things got a little crazy on Valentine's. I'll tell a quick story. I think the first Valentine's I spent with Frank, when we were dating, I put a lot of time and effort into a handmade card for him. And it was, I still have it somewhere because he saved it, which is sweet. It was a heart. It was sort of a digital heart. And I had created the heart out of all these words from our like courting. So like just inside jokes or movies we saw or restaurants we liked, or, you know, the whole heart was made up of a word from our relationship.
That is so romantic.
Well, that's so sweet.
I got a slinky one year. A slinky
Wow.
for Valentine's Day.
That was the first Valentine's, and then it just
Okay.
was downhill from
But
there.
a slinky? Like, what was he thinking? Anyway, that's not
So that's your story, the slinky story.
Yeah. My husband didn't like to buy flowers because my boyfriend before gave me flowers all the time. So then he was like, I'm never going to get you flowers, which is all I wanted was just some flowers. But no, I got a slinky. He would try to do like funny things, but it wasn't funny on Valentine's Day. I wanted some fucking flowers. But anyway,
Cute.
but what it did teach me, my mom and I had this conversation because I would get angry because I'm like, all I want are flowers. And he refuses.
Don't buy flowers on Valentine's Day. They're too expensive.
But it's what your person wants.
But get them
I
on
wanted
sale.
that.
They're on sale.
Oh my God. And guess what? He was such a budgeter. He probably would have been into that. But he was trying
Day
to
old, like when they're half price.
Just pat.
right.
Did he have random day? Don't
the
right.
sagging dozen of roses that never didn't get bought.
Well, that's what kind of my mom said. She's like, this is a made up holiday anyway. Like it's
Hallmark
just
holiday.
for greeting cards.
Silly.
And you have to know what your person's like love language is, right? My husband I was like, just give me all the romance, like, and he said to me multiple times, like, we're not living in a romantic comedy. And I'd be like, but aren't we? Yeah, right. But then
here's your slinky and shut up.
right. Yeah, I don't really understand why. I can't remember now why the slinky happened, but he was trying, and that's the thing that we have to remember. Like, not everybody, and especially as we move forward, dating new people, we're not going to get the same things that we got with our husband necessarily, and you have to be open. The slinky, do not fucking get a slinky for Valentine's Day. I don't even know what the thought process was.
What about Holly?
Anyway.
Holly, what about your story?
Oh, well, I mean, we didn't really celebrate Valentine's like on the day because our first date was on February 9th. So we kind of combined it. Toby was very romantic and a good creative gift giver. Sorry, Whitney.
Sorry, Whit.
Okay.
How great
I was
for
gonna tell
you.
one story.
How
but I don't-
wonderful for you.
It's kind of long, so I'm not going to go into it. But I do remember my first Valentine's Day after our first date on February 9th, and we were in design school together at Texas Tech. And he gave me a card and put it on my desk or whatever in class and left it and it had all this like heart confetti in it, whatever. But, okay, I'm like switching gears because my son, who's 23, yesterday showed me what he made for his girlfriend. And I almost burst into tears because it was exactly what Toby would have made for me. And he made his girlfriend like created him from like Legos. Okay, he's 23. And he got all the Legos out of the closet and he made little Legos of he and his girlfriend and a heart and like a collage picture behind it. And I was just like, oh my God, that is exactly what.
I feel like that's also a sign. Like, I feel like the fact that your son was doing something that was so like Toby, that is also Toby giving you a Valentine gift.
Yeah, I was going to tell a whole nother story when, but
The slinky threw you off.
this kind of like, this slinky, like totally.
It always does, you guys. It's a terrible gift.
Slinky. The slinky's hijacking the whole podcast.
I'm
It makes
sorry.
me feel good because I feel like Toby's like here. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So does ananybody?
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Okay.
Stephanie wants to share. We love it. Yay, Stephanie.
Come on, don't be scared.
Oh, hold on.
Check support.
Hold on. I guess you should have been scared.
And we're done.
I'm very out of practice with things together.
There's a male part and a female part. Stuff.
Hang on.
Is this thing on?
Okay, we've got
Let
Stephanie.
me see. Talk into it, Steph.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Testes? Sorry. Okay. I will tell my first Valentine's
that I had with Jeff. And this was obviously February 14th. We went to Concan. And I'd never been because he grew up in San Antonio.
Explain what Concan is.
Yes. So Concan is a beautiful area of Texas, about hour and a half from San Antonio, beautiful hills. The Concan River flows through the area. There's beautiful national parks out there. And again, I'd never been because I am a Dallas girl. He was a San Antonio boy. And he said, this is where we need to go for Valentine's. And we had only been dating literally 45 days because we met New Year's Eve and our friends introduced us, and we were inseparable from that moment. And when we were there, we did just a day trip on a Saturday, and we're in the truck and we just go cruising. We just go do the Saturday cruise through the beautiful, area of Concan. And we both loved music, and we put on just our Spotify or our whatever we were playing in the car, and a version of probably one of my all-time favorite songs, "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel, came on. Oh my God. And I'd never heard this particular version of it. It was the symphony version that Peter Gabriel did with this beautiful symphony behind him. And Jeff knew Gabriel. I mean, of course, I was like a Gabriel fan since I was a child because my parents knew good music, thank God. And I was like, this is the most amazing version of this. I can't. And he's like, I've never heard it either. He's like, and I love this song. This is so great. And I went home after that Valentine's weekend. And the first thing I did was go see my mom. And I told her, I met the man I'm going to marry. And I said, I have to play something for you. I said, because I'm going to walk down the aisle to this song when we get married. And I did. It was the song I walked down the aisle to on our wedding day. And it is the most beautiful. And I have video of it. And it's.
And wedding day was
April.
A few years ago?
We were married April 29th, 2023. And he passed November 22nd, 2024.
Do you hear that song ever? Like,
oh God, yes.
I
Yeah.
know. I love that. Thank
All
you
the
so
time.
much. Yeah, for sharing.
Thank y'all. I'm so glad to be here and meet all these amazing people, and y'all are just wonderful.
Thank
you.
you.
I had to share that because
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't comedy. I'll tell comedy later. I swear I have comedy, but that was the sweet part. I like to start with the sweet and I end with the humor.
Yes, that's my go-to as well. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's emotional. It is emotional. And y'all, anyone who listens to the podcast knows that my husband speaks to me through music all the time. I feel like that is an easy way to get a sign, because music, like you don't have to be thinking about it. You feel something, and we all feel it from our childhood songs, right? Like it just takes you back. For me, it's like angst. I'm like, oh, this song is really great, but oh, why do I feel like this?
Middle school dance.
Yes, just like, yeah, the angst of it all. I was wearing parachute pants, but nobody else was. It was like
Dancing like this.
terrible. Yeah. So when we, talking about connection again, like when you have something like that, and I know all of us have it, like there's gotta be, whether it's your wedding song or the song that was on when you were on your first date, whatever. If you feel like you aren't getting, and I'm going to bring up the signs because that's how I roll. But like music is a great way. I know. Music is a great way for that.
To keep her on track. It's just like.
I'm all over the place, you guys. Anyway, but thank you. I love that. I love that.
Does anyone else want to share a story about Valentine's Day?
Oh, yay.
Oh, yay.
You
guys are awesome.
My husband, Sean, was not romantic. We thought Valentine's Day was stupid. We didn't do anything for it. We did nothing. And he often would separate Skittles because I only like the red and the orange.
A little high maintenance, are we?
Not only that, I'm kind of a bitch because there would be purple ones in there. And I would go, what is this? And looking back now, my husband was colorblind.
Oh, no.
No way.
I cannot imagine how difficult it was and how many hours he spent for years
That's so.
separating Skittles that his bitch of a wife complained because there were purple ones in it. And
Shout out to Sean. He's
Yes.
a saint now.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
So funny.
Anyone else have a Valentine's?
Okay.
Am I allowed to move on now? Go ahead, Keira. What's next on my list?
What was next? Oh, well, the next thing we were going to talk about was dating, but I don't know, because people always ask us a lot of
I have
questions
so many stories
about dating. And I know some people in here haven't tried or started or even thought about it, which is completely normal in the beginning. So we've talked about dating a lot. Some of us have more stories than others.
I've listened a lot.
And so I don't know if we wanted to touch on that topic. If anybody wants to ask us questions about it or share maybe like their first, peek at an app or
First peek.
crazy coffee.
If it's an interest, if y'all are like, no, move on. And
Melinda,
yeah.
Grab the
Melinda has
mic.
a tale to tell.
Melinda, grab the mic.
Okay, I don't know how to start.
Grab the mic.
Okay.
baby.
Okay. Hi, I'm Melinda. So I'm almost 5 years. March is 5 years. And for basically the last, until 2 months ago, I thought it would never be possible to even, I just didn't think that, I was interested or even, I just thought that was over. And, somebody I had met a few years ago just came calling, literally. And I can't believe I have the same feelings. I mean, it's crazy. I feel like I'm in high school. And so
Butterflies in your stomach.
butterflies, the whole thing. It's so great. And I just have to say that every year has been tough. I was just saying to someone who's a bit newer than I am, and I've shared with other widow friends who have followed me, that it's almost like there's like a 4-year plan, like high school or college. Like your freshman year, you don't know what you're doing. Your sophomore year, you think it'll be better, and it's actually worse. And then your junior year, you just go through each step.
That's a good way to put it.
No, really. I heard actually a blogger that I listened to talked about that, about her mother passing. And I've shared it with my girls. And anyway, I just have to say there's hope. And luckily, I kind of joked. I don't know if we have Swifties in the audience, but okay, shout out to T Swift. I feel like Ophelia, literally being lifted out of a dismal life. I thought, not dismal. I mean, my husband is so great and I love my memories and I have a great life, but this is icing on the cake. And I have to say, we all have hope. So thank you, Johnny P.
Shout out.
Shout out to Johnny P.
What does the P stand for?
But it feels good and like gives you confidence.
Okay, so let me just say that. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So, do you remember the phone call? And I said, year and a half out, I said my self-esteem was so low and my self-confidence. And you're right. I feel so empowered. I mean, over the 5 years,
It makes you feel better when you like connect with someone.
yes, 100%. And it's really amazing. And it's scary a little bit at first, but yeah, it's nice. And whatever happens from here on out, that confidence
It's an experience.
is here. It is.
It's hope. And honestly, like love is the easiest way to get to, I'm going to get all woo woo, but like a higher vibration. Like when you feel like love, and whether it's for a person or like your dog or your job or whatever, it lifts you up to a different vibrational level, and whatever level you're on is what you're attracting in. So like right now for you, Melinda, you may be feeling like there's so much possibility. Like there's so much that the world has to offer me now just because of the feeling that you're feeling that this person has brought in. But like, it's really like, I love the idea of your energetic, like whatever, your vibrations or whatever will bring in more of what you're feeling. And we all want, well, maybe we all don't. I know some people don't really care about finding somebody else, but we all want more joy, more stuff. What
There's a connection.
It's a connection with, I mean, it doesn't have to be like,
it doesn't have to be another person.
No, it brings
right.
it full circle, and you can share that and move it put it forward, like
Yeah.
it forward in a way. I feel like it just brings.
It brings everything just a different lens. Like all of a sudden it's just hope and possibility and look at all of the amazing things. And it can be from another person, which is honestly the easiest way to get it, I feel like sometimes. Because it's just, you're not even thinking about it. He touched you and your whole body was just alive. I was in the closet.
She saw it in my eyes earlier.
No, but yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And and for a lot of people out there that can't even imagine that right now, like, you know, I know some of us didn't
takes
even
time.
It can take some time.
it took me 5 years.
Well,
Yeah.
people
Same.
were starting to lose hope in me.
And
my
I
friends really were disappointed.
yeah, I like you. I had people like, what, you know, why aren't you on the dating apps? And what, you know, like married friends that I'm like, you don't understand what it's like. But I had a moment where I felt butterflies in my stomach when I met someone random. I wasn't looking. Yeah. And, nothing came of that, obviously, because I'm still single. So,
But what I
Still, how great is it to?
yeah, I'm like, oh, I can feel something.
Yeah.
And I never I never thought I would.
I think
So-
it's just like having, hopeful feelings that aren't despair, sadness, confusion, anger, you know, everything that comes along with grief and losing someone. It's like to have any kind of positive feelings, whether, you know, your kid scores a goal in the soccer game or you go on a fun date and kiss someone. It's all uplifting and, you know, it'll come. For those of you that are like newly, it does come. It takes time, but.
And it's not really always about like, I mean, I feel like, you know, when we talk about signs or whatever, it's not necessarily a sign, but I feel like Toby's been a part of like guiding me along the way. And it's interesting because I've like I met y'all. Mm-hmm. We did not know each other before our husbands died. And I've met like so many groups of friends that are like, as you call it, yes people, and happy and like brought me so much joy. So it's not always about like a guy or
Men.
no offense, Jess.
somebody to have sex with
Jeff.
or whatever. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Like-
everyone in this room is a yes person.
yeah.
And
I mean,
everyone
I'm
last
like,
night was a yes
yeah.
person.
And I thought about that so much this morning when I woke up. I like was worried I was going to wake up not feeling well.
I wonder why.
But I woke
Weird.
up with like so much energy and I was like, oh my God, that was so amazing. Like I met so many amazing women and men and, you know, just like happy and ready to be.
She was energized. I was not.
She
I
was
was not
struggling.
energized this morning at all.
You guys kept giving her vodka sodas, and she couldn't say
I
no.
turned on the
I set
Olympics
mine down and
kinda
Keira drank
had
first.
a slow morning.
This is actually a great topic if anybody else wanted to talk about like becoming a yes person, because a lot of our listeners are new to this widower game, and they're listening and going, how the fuck can I say yes to anything right now? Like I just want to
Y'all all
lay
have
in
said
bed.
yes.
Yeah. So does anyone else want to talk to that? Because there are people listening that need to know how to do it or that it will come eventually.
And it's hard because like Toby was my like social spouse. Like he was
the yes guy.
the fun one. He was the fun one. Yeah, I will admit.
You're super fun, Holly. Now, I mean, I can't attest to
I
who
really
you were
feel
before.
like he's been like, you know, in my space maneuvering. Like, you're going to be around fun people. You're going to be the fun one.
Yeah, don't you think all of your people like had a hand in why you're here tonight?
I found out the night he died.
Oh, get on the mic for that.
Yeah, actually, Stephanie suggested earlier that we talk about how you guys found the podcast.
Yeah.
Because a lot of you guys are from all over and not local and maybe didn't have a personal connection with one of us or one of our kids or a friend of ours. So how did you guys find us?
Yeah, this is Steph again. The night or the day that Jeff passed, he passed at 4:35 in the afternoon on November 22nd. My girlfriends, my closest girlfriends, two of my bridesmaids in our wedding, they came home with me that night and were going to stay with me. And of course, they didn't want me to be alone that night. And I just wanted to put on a podcast when I was laying in bed to just kind of drown out. I didn't even want to watch TV, which is weird because I love TV, but I just wanted, for whatever reason, my brain said, just listen to a podcast tonight. And I love Dr. Laura. She's kind of also a spirit animal of mine. And I turned to her podcast on and was looking at my phone, and all of a sudden it just said, if you like Dr. Laura, you might be interested in this podcast. And it was literally every widow thing. Wow. That within hours of my husband passing. And I can't explain it other than meant to be. And I binged you guys and probably listened to as many of the episodes as y'all had out at that time in 2024, and just meant to be. Like, I literally, in every fiber in my being was like, it was no accident that happened that night. I am so glad too.
And now you're here with the microphone.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
How did some of the rest of you find your way into our space? Kiki?
Yeah.
Kiki from Chicago?
Kiki from Chicago.
So, I mean, similar to Stephanie's story, it's like once you go down the rabbit hole of one podcast, and I probably was like 6 months in, not like 6 hours in or whatever it was. And I was we have a place up in northern Wisconsin. It's just very, serene and remote, and you just have time to like sit in the muck. And that's what we all need to do, because we all can be so busy doing everything, whether it's shopping, it's you, or Netflix or this, but I mean, or travel, and I'm guilty of travel. But like, we all can be going in all different directions to distract us, and we just need to, I believe, like sit in the muck, sit in the silence, and so being amongst all the pine trees and the rustling of the wind and the eagles and the waves of the lake, it's just a big piece of solace, and it was a big part of our family's life, and it still is. But so exercise up there's not really a health club, so I do a lot of walking, and so that's when I found you guys. And like stuff, I did become an addict. Like, I tell my friends, like, I have widow crushes. These are my new besties, and I was the latter. So Melinda, who got up and spoke earlier, yes, she's a year and a half out before me, and then Nancy's 6 months before me. And so then I turned them on to you and my Hinsdale contingency as well. A few ladies listened, but I've said you bring just such beautiful light into the darkness. And, less deep, less dark, less often, but that humor, because all the emotions come from the same spot, right? We could be laughing, we could be crying. And I mean, it was just, you guys, it was just, I love you guys. I mean, you really, really helped me through the journey. And I would listen to you guys, you're so funny. And then a lot of times I would go back 30 seconds or like a minute 30, and I would replay. I'm like, am I okay? I'm like listening to the widows, like your little jokes about whatever it was. Yes. Yeah. And cleaning out sock drawers or whatever. And, you're just so real, and you're so inspirational. And I love the fact that, you do dive deep into real content, right? You're not shying away from it, but then you're trying to be resilient and find new purpose and all the things that we're here today. And I think it was a testament to who you guys are and the people that we want to be. We're following you because you guys are leading the path. And, if you're all Debbie Downers there, then we probably, I don't know, maybe we'd still follow you. We'd still be here following you because you guys are so awesome.
We wouldn't be if we were Debbie Downers. Well, real quick, let me ask you, Kiki, because you've had 2 widow friends that you brought here. How did y'all meet? Because we get a lot of questions from other people that are grieving that don't have a group and they can't find anyone. Like, did you get connected or how did you already know each other?
So Nancy and I had known each other since 7th grade. So we kind of go way back. And
We didn't do that. That wasn't us.
I knew you in 7th grade, Keira. I
was
just
already
didn't talk to you.
yeah. And so we've stayed connected over the years. And then my husband and, Melinda's husband had been friends for a long time, decades, and I knew her husband before Melinda knew her husband. And so I'm so grateful. I call these guys my wing widows because the support is so key, and somebody really knowing what you are walking through is immeasurable. And David Kessler, I don't know, I'm sure you guys know him, a renowned grief expert, and he I'm probably going to bastardize the quote, but similar, you'll get the gist. But he's like, losing a spouse is like operating like 1/2 of a shear of a scissor. And it's like, are you kidding me? You had that imagery, and that just shows you what a profound loss that we have experienced and the impact and the toll that has taken. Like, how functional, unless you want to stab somebody, like 1/2 of a shear of scissor.
I feel like a lot of...
It's a serious scissor. Well,
I was about to say...
somebody.
I was about to say, I think maybe that is one thing that we all probably did feel at one point. Like, who can I stab right now? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, could be some of our friends or family or neighbors,
why
whoever.
I started going to boxing classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but the support system is huge. And I think we're all meeting some new friends here tonight. And where are we going next?
Jennifer...
Yeah.
I know.
Right?
It's Jennifer's house.
No, it's not my turn to talk.
All right. Anybody else want to
Want to talk about how they found us? And did you find us through a search or through recommendation? Okay, awesome.
Oh, here, move it up. Yeah, there's plenty. We just got...
Hey.
Hi. Is it working?
I believe...
Okay.
Can you just say testes?
Testes. Yes.
A little louder, Mary Beth.
A little louder. Testes.
I think Mary Beth talks like I do, so she's a little more soft-spoken.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mary Beth. I've been widowed since December 2023. I'm a therapist and a social worker, and I have a good friend who and a colleague who sent me a bunch of resources, probably like 3 months after my husband died, just like a bunch of local grief groups and things like that. And one of the things she sent me was Every Widow Thing, and there's a link to the podcast. And I didn't have it in me to like look at any of these things. I just like, okay, I'll put it aside and I'll get back to it someday. And then I think it was in April, I was like, I was on my way home from work. I was getting on the train and I just pulled it up and I started listening, and I just was like instantly hooked. And I think that the thing that pulled me in was your youthfulness, your age, because
We're so young.
you're very young.
Especially me.
Yes. I mean, I had been to
Oh, dang.
I had already checked out another grief group at that point. It was a lot of older ladies, which I understand is a unique experience and of their suffering too, but I couldn't relate. And there was something about how young you were. And also my husband died suddenly, and your stories about how your husbands died. I just think it's, again, any way your husband dies is awful, but there was something uniquely terrible about the sudden loss, at least for me. And that experience you all shared and the vulnerability with which you shared it and your stories, and just you went right there and no one had to guess what had happened. You just laid it all out. And I just was instantly pulled in and just wanted to know more. And I just feel like I echo what Kiki said, you're just, you can kind of see your future path in a way. You can kind of see hope, like, okay, I feel awful now, but 4 years out, it might feel like this. And then being there last night and talking to other women that were earlier in their journey than I am. Audria, 9 months out, you're about a little over a year out. And just like, oh, I remember that. Like, I remember what that felt like, and you can kind of see yourself getting a little stronger, a little.
You're like, I'm doing okay. Like,
yeah,
I'm doing pretty okay.
So I think that's what you were for me at the beginning. Like, oh, okay, there's something at the end of this that's hopeful and optimistic, or just like you said, you always have it, grief, and always be with you. But it gets. I think that I remember that thing, the story you told, or the metaphor of the circle and the box.
Yeah.
That really stayed with me. Yeah. So that was really helpful. So I think I was able to see that through you, and last night still able to see that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.
I know that's when I met Keira. That's how it was for me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you're doing okay. I can.
Yeah, I remember that lunch so well because Holly's husband died on the same road as my husband from a drunk driver. And somebody reached out to me right when it happened. And I didn't really know Holly at the time. I mean, our sons had kind of crossed paths a little bit, but somebody said, oh, this just happened. And I was like, well, why are y'all calling me? Like, I don't know her. I mean, I'm re-traumatized. Right. But like, this is what happened. This is like one thing
when they called
that happens in your community is, and you kind of find the strength to rise to the challenge. We've kind of taken it to the nth degree here with this thing, but just in the community, people would say, oh, look, this has happened to someone else. Could you reach out to her? And I waited until, I just know from mine, I needed time. And I waited until through the summer and
reached out to me at the perfect time.
When the kids went back to school, like in the fall, I reached out and I said, well, now the kids are back in school. She's had a little buffer. And we went to lunch, and she was still pretty deer in the headlights for sure. Mm-hmm. But I just told her my story, and I think
gave me really good advice. I remember talking to you about Christmas, and
she asked about the holidays. Yeah,
yeah.
And I was like, I got out of Dodge. I couldn't be here. I couldn't be here for Christmas.
And I was like, I don't know. I kind of feel guilty. And she's like, no. There's none of.
She's like, my family is, like, why are you leaving town and taking the boys away for Christmas? I was like, just go. Like, grab friends, whoever wants to go skiing or beach or Hawaii. Like, just go do.
So we went to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I love is that you acknowledge, like, she reached out at the perfect time.
She did.
And that's something that I love to hear, because we're always like, and I think in grief too, it's like, oh, well, how come I'm not here yet? Well, why isn't this happening yet? And da-da-da. And you don't have to fucking worry about the timing. It will happen when it is supposed to happen, and you'll meet the right people at the right time. And the more, and again, the more that you believe that, the more true it becomes, and the more you start to see it actually happening. And you didn't know that she had been, putting you off for stiff arming you for 6 months or whatever. But she came in at the exact time.
I wasn't sitting there like, where's Keira Lyman?
No,
my husband, she reached out.
But
I mean, my husband died too.
But it is interesting because you've said on the podcast before, like, you were following her story on, what's the name of the
Caring Bridge?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know Keira, but our kids went to the same elementary school. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm following the story and then checking every day.
Like, how's she doing?
How's she doing? And I'm telling my husband, oh my God, can you imagine? This is horrific.
I just got chills. Isn't that crazy?
And then it happened. Although I wasn't in that. I didn't.
No, but it was very similar.
There were a lot of similarities.
Same road, children involved. And again, to me, when I think about it, I'm just like, there is such a bigger thing happening than what we really understand. And there are connections and things that are working for us that we don't even know yet. Even the fact that, and this happened to me with Hunter and I, like there was an associate at his job. His wife was pregnant with twins. They go in, she's not feeling well, horrible story. They all die except for him. And Hunter was very impacted by that story. And so for a couple of weeks, by the way, like 2 months later, Hunter's dead. But like for like several weeks, he would just come home and be like, I'm just gutted by this. And so we would have these conversations about death and about each other. And it was really valuable. And I didn't know how valuable it would be.
Yeah.
And so like you following Keira's story and having those conversations with Toby, and then now she's your very best friend. It's crazy, but that's what I love. I get so like geek out about it because I'm like, there are no coincidences. That was something bigger at play that was getting you ready. But then you got to have these conversations and tell Toby, like, I can't imagine. And I love you. And I don't know. I get all like, I could fucking do the splits right now. I'm so excited. Be careful what you wish for.
She will. So.
But you know, do you all agree with that? Like, can you attest to that? Can you share something that's similar? Like somebody like give us more? Yeah, get that.
Come on, Jennifer.
All right. I mean, so poor Whitney has heard many of my stories, and I'm probably
Put it up there.
You gotta put it up to your mouth.
Never mind. Yeah, exactly. So I'm probably the longest one out here. So I've been a widow for about 18 years, and my late husband passed when my kids were 7, 5, and almost 3 from pancreatic cancer. And that was rough and it was terrible. And there was not this sort of community, and people who were around me didn't know what that was. So I digress. That's my backstory. But signs, we talk about signs. And I was talking about how Texas, for me, I'm from California. I'm from Los Angeles. I have a lot of ties to Texas. My stepdad's family's from Texas. He was born and raised in Texas. My 2 boys went to SMU. I've spent a lot of time here, had a lot of fun ponying up on that campus. My late husband went to SMU, and there was a lot of signs of my kids being in Texas. And being from California, Texas is a foreign place, as is California is a foreign place, right? To everybody who's from anywhere, anybody who's from there. And so my oldest son came to SMU, and he wanted to join a fraternity. He wanted to be in the fraternity that his dad was in. He's like, I'm supposed to be in that fraternity. And he rushes that fraternity. And one boy in that fraternity didn't like my son because the girl that boy liked my son. So he was out. So he's devastated. He's like, I'm not in the fraternity I'm supposed to be in. I'm like, your dad wouldn't give 2 shits what fraternity you're in. Like, you go where you feel like, yeah, you're at SMU. I don't think he'd actually even care about that. He wants you to be somewhere that you feel respected and loved, and you're going to be a good contributing member to society. Like, make your path, right? So he ends up joining another fraternity, goes through that process, and it ends up that the fraternity that he's in lives in the house that used to be the fraternity that my husband lived in. So that fraternity moved from that house and went to another house, right? So no, it gets deeper than that. So they both lived in the same fraternity house at different times. And Jackson, my oldest son, lived in a room that was across the hall from the room that my late husband had lived in, right? Okay, so that's crazy and weird, whatever. So one night, this is even weirder. Friday night, freshman boy, sober, alone on a Friday night in his fraternity house, like not doing anything.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. Right? All alone, like hanging out, playing video games. Nobody's there. All his fraternity brothers are out. You know, God knows what they're doing. And it's probably 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. There's a knock on the door, and 3, as he describes, elderly gentlemen come walking in. And I go, describe elderly. He goes, oh, they were like your age. I'm like, thanks for that. Yeah. Okay, awesome. He goes, they come walking in, and he says, hi, can I help you? And he's like, we're here for this weekend. One of our fraternity brothers had passed and we wanted to come by the old house. My son knew that used to be another fraternity house. And he's like, oh, you guys were betas. I'm an AE Pi, but you guys are betas because this used to be a beta house. He's like, because clearly you're really old. So, right. And he says, what year did you graduate? My son says this and they say 1988. And he's like, that's the year my dad graduated. Do you know my dad? What's your dad's name? Eric Ferris. These three guys like immediately go, oh my God, come in, give him this big fat hug and spend 4 hours, like until the dawn's early light, telling him stories that I would never have known, that his sister who also went to SMU would have never known. And God knows his parents would never have known. Like tells him these stories.
Eric didn't even remember.
Yeah, clearly. No, Eric was the good guy of our relationship. I clearly wouldn't have remembered had we known each other. But like, so they went through that story and Jackson had always said, I wanted to be in that fraternity. I wanted to be where my dad was. And I'm like, no. Everything happens for a reason. You were meant to be in that place. That would never have happened.
So amazing.
And that was a sign, right? So
Yes. Big sign. That might win the night. I mean, let's just shut it down. I don't know how you go after that. How do you go after that?
Wasn't that crazy? So I've shared with everyone here that I have 2 friends that recently have lost their husbands, which is just crazy to me because I don't remember hearing about widows, like I just
20s.
feel like, well, I mean, just in general, I just feel like people are dropping like flies. But anyway,
The men. Take care
Jeff's
of yourself.
still here. Jeff's still
Sorry.
here.
Spouses are dropping like
Get him another
flies.
tiny beer.
Are you okay with your tiny beer over there, Jeff? I might get another. Get one.
Jeff, I think we all need another round.
I'll be over here.
Jeff, you can.
Okay, just for people that are watching, this is hysterical. So we have been planning this thing for a long time, and we're worried about, like, we have to have bubbles, we have to have white wine, we have to have red wine, we have to have margaritas, we have to... And, of course, we have a widower here, Jeff, and we didn't think about beer. So at the last minute...
Well, I thought about beer, but I was thinking
tiny beers.
Tiny
They're
beer.
like this big.
I like beer too.
I don't know.
It's like a beer tasting.
I literally don't know what I was thinking, except for that they're just cute. But I don't know. But anyway, back to my story.
You need
Okay, back to the
refill.
story.
I think everybody needs a refill.
Now that...
Do we need a refill, everyone?
Does everybody want to get a tiny beer or
quick?
beverage of
Go get
choice?
a drink.
Look, everybody wants it.
Intermission. A tiny beer.
Intermission. Everybody get up.
All right, we're gonna. What? Jeff, I did hit record.
See, Jeff and I are. I'm like, did you hit
episode.
record?
That's why we invited him.
Record.
Well, Jeff, is there anything that you would like to say since you have had many tiny beers tonight? You need to take the mic for a minute and give people a little bit of Jeff.
Well, and Jeff
Take
is
the mic.
Jeff is a previous podcast guest.
Well, what is there anything that you would like
You
to
want to
share?
update us on your love life or how you're feeling about Valentine?
Whitney knows I keep that pretty close to the vest. So
Yes, he's very mysterious.
That's not what I've heard.
Mysterious.
we no
My home.
we never celebrated Valentine's Day much, honestly. I got married in my 30s, and by the time you get to your 30s, you're not a big fan of Valentine's Day. And my wife and I both just agreed from the get-go we were not going to do Valentine's Day or anniversaries. We would get a heart-shaped pizza for my daughter. That was our Valentine's Day tradition. So it was pretty low key at our house. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Jeff.
You're so welcome. Do you have any other questions?
Any dating adventures you want to share? Or are you just keeping it?
Any dating adventures?
Or maybe dating advice for from a man's perspective. Any dating advice for the women that may dip their toe in?
Are we really doing this? Okay.
It doesn't have to be crazy.
He's taking shots of beer all night.
I'm single, so I'm clearly not that in a position to give a lot of advice to people about how to go about this. But yeah, it's rough out there. I mean, I've done dating apps. I don't know how many of you have or have not. They're pretty brutal for men, honestly. It's a very demoralizing experience for men, to just put it that way. Yeah. The statistics they're just pretty ugly for men. It's like you have to swipe through hundreds and hundreds of profiles just to get someone to respond to you, kind of thing. So. That kind of thing. So there's not honestly, I don't have a lot of stories on that front.
I'm sorry I put you on the hot seat.
You can go ahead. No.
Has anyone tried in your community to set you up or introduce you?
They know better than that in my community. No, I'm pretty picky. So they, like I said, my friends know not to do that. But I'm pretty good on my own. Okay.
I think it's a pretty common story with the setups where the friends are either like, well, they're not good enough for you, or we're afraid that, if it goes wrong, that they're then like blamed, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think just from my experiences of like just a few setups where
no one has set me up.
For guys,
not to me, but I'm just saying.
For men, for guys my age is a little different because my friends want to live vicariously through me. So they're like, you should go out with her. I'm like, no, I don't think that.
I want to hear about the guys that are like, you get to date.
Yeah, there's just not a lot to report. So
thank you for sharing.
Make for the most exciting podcast ever.
Like, I have friends that are like, oh, I forgot you're single. I'm like,
oh, well, that is infuriating.
I need to put a sign on my head?
Talk about stabbing with the one scissor.
You just got so good with that half a scissor. They're like, well, we forgot. You're just working with one half.
Right. I forgot you were single. Yeah, that's terrible. No, I was just going to share a sign that one of the friends who was recently widowed shared with me yesterday. She went to her husband's gravesite just to say hello. And this is so crazy. A bouquet from another gravesite rolled on to his gravesite.
Whoa.
While she was there.
Yes, right in front of her. And I was like,
that's freaky.
He was trying to give you a Valentine's bouquet. Like, what can you say? Like, that to me is a sign.
It's freaking me out. I'm freaked out by that.
Well, get up there.
I've got one.
Stephanie's got a sign.
So this was, and there have been many, but I'm going to tell the first one that happened in the moment of him about to pass. We were in the hospital. We're in the ICU. And we were there for, I guess, 2.5 days once he had gotten admitted. And I kept, walking down the hall to go get a drink or coffee or, food, or just to walk and just take a breath in the hospital. And I kept passing and walking by a feather on the carpet outside of the ICU. And in the moment, I was just like, there's a feather on the ground. There's a feather on the ground. And I just kept walking by it. And the next, I guess that night, my brother showed up at the hospital he had flown in because he'd been out of town on business. Thank God he lives here locally. So he just came home early from business trip to come be with me. And he and I were sitting outside of the ICU, and we're just sitting on the ground, our backs up against the wall, just talking and just commiserating and, kind of like, holy crap, I kind of can't believe we're here. And then all of a sudden, here comes the big rig vacuum cleaner guy coming down the hallway, and he's on his writing thing, just vacuuming. And my brother, of course, we're sitting there, we're crying and we're having a moment. And this guy's just doing his job. It's fine. He's just doing his job. But of course, my brother's like, come on, dude, seriously, right in front of, we're clearly having a moment here. The guy's just doing his job, vacuuming. Well, the next morning, I had slept in his ICU room that night, of course, with him. And I got up. I mean, of course, I didn't really sleep, but I get up, go to walk out and go get a coffee or whatever. And that damn feather was still there and had not gotten vacuumed up by the guy. And I'm like, that's mine. And I picked that feather up and it is in my wallet and I carry it with me everywhere. And again, signs of just something else knew that it was going to happen. And they were just letting me know by that feather that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So I had to share that one.
She passing the mic to somebody?
Okay, I have one.
So, my husband died in March of 21, and that Thanksgiving, my girls were home and we're in the kitchen and the day before, and I was supposed to leave the day after Thanksgiving to go on a trip with some friends who invited me to Hawaii to Hawaii. And I was stressing about it and I don't know. And then I had a breakdown. And we're cooking and doing things in the kitchen and we're always lively. Music's always there. And something was on and they said, we change it. And I put on a Pandora, not my playlist, just a Pandora. And, let's back up. One of our family favorite things to do is we would in the living room, just put on Sonos and listen to Adele. And that was when my husband was alive and we listened a lot. And so I put it on and I had a breakdown and I just I think on the floor, just crying, I don't know. I don't want to do Thanksgiving. I don't want to do this. I don't know what to do. And finally we all laugh. We had some joke or whatever, get up and I start cooking and Adele, Make You Feel My Love came on. And all I know is I don't know. I just broke. That was it. It was from him for sure. And I went in the living room and just had this meltdown. And it was so interesting because I thought, okay, that's what it is from now on. I just have to feel it. It's all you can do, right? We know. I mean, you guys are here. You're making us feel it because you're so real. And we're so grateful for you and for everybody that's here. But anyway, through music, feel so many things, but it was a sign at that moment, just, I've got to carry on and you got to go and you got to do it and you got to feel.
And you're not alone.
You're not alone.
They're not here, which fucking sucks, but they're still here.
Yeah.
And that is what I get so much comfort from. They're not missing anything. We're missing watching them see the things that we want them to be right here experiencing it with us, but they aren't missing anything.
Right.
That just brings me so much joy.
Well, so much. And my girls were wait.
Comfort.
Well, comfort. Right. Comfort.
Yeah.
And that's what the girls were like, did you put your playlist on? Is that yours? I said, no. And they were like, woo woo. Talk about woo woo. Anyway.
Okay. Miranda's going to speak now.
Story.
It's not a big story. And the sign doesn't have a huge link that I can attribute, but it's just, I think, a sign in general of things that are put in front of you, saying yes, making connection is, it was kind of a big thing I debated about responding to this weekend and the things and to do the thing tonight, I was like, I don't know, and kind of went back and forth. And then, I was like, you know what? I've really not enjoyed most of the Valentine's days since my husband died. And, this would be something different, kind of that say yes thing that somebody referred to, just showing up and saying yes. And so I do the thing. And then at some point, a message comes from Every Widow thing that says all the stuff about the information, and the address for where we are tonight comes through. And I was like, I think I know that address. And I emailed back. I didn't know who I was emailing, but I emailed back and said, did you buy this home from so-and-so and so-and-so? And Whitney responded and was like, oh my God, yes.
What the actual fuck?
And, so I mean, yeah, this was just crazy that, I was like, wow, I know the people. I used to work with one of the people in the family that owned the home, and I had actually been here before.
Oh my God.
And So, I don't know like how my late husband played a role in that, but
share what happened when you got here.
when I walked in, one of the first things that I noticed in one of the main rooms was these beautiful 3-piece paintings or canvases of bees. And I will spare everybody the whole story about our bees, but bees are a huge sign that my children and I have come to embrace about their dad, my late husband. In fact, we all have bee tattoos. And I saw these bees on these canvases and was just like, why do you have bees?
I was like, well, I don't know. We were trying to be an adult and get some artwork.
So I think, I'll just say from a sign perspective or a coincidence that's not really a coincidence, just sometimes, you're in the right place. You're with, the right community. So
thank you.
Thank you
for sharing that.
Thank you for being here. We're glad you said yes.
Does somebody else want to share?
Jenny, I know you may not want to speak on the microphone, but do you want to talk about your sign, why you're here tonight?
Oh, well.
You don't have to.
But will you do the mic, or is this just for unedited,
You can cut it out.
Or I can tell the story.
Okay.
So.
But it's going to be zoomed in on your face.
So
just kidding.
The entire time it'll be.
Oh shit.
Jenny lives in my neighborhood, our neighborhood, and her husband died in an Ironman race a year ago, a little over a year ago. And we connected walking our dogs. She came up to me and we met, and I wanted to connect with her further, and I kept saying, let's go get coffee. And anyway, life happens, and we would see each other every now and then. And I texted her, I don't know, when we were planning all of this, and said, I'd really love you to join us. And she responded right away and was like, oh my God, you were looking at photos of your husband.
I was just about to I think I'll go look at photos and watch videos and depress myself or something.
She said she was watching videos and being depressed.
Yeah. The photo rabbit hole, which I've done so many times.
Feels good. Yes. Yeah. Feels like he's still with me and connecting. And then sometimes it's sad.
It's just brutal.
Why do I do this to myself?
Mm-hmm.
Or her text popped up when I was about to start. And I was like, oh. And I was thinking about doing this event, but I thought I was going to be out of town. And then
she was thinking she was going to do this event, but she was going to be out of town.
So she responded to me, I'm buying a ticket. Why do you sound like
AI?
Are these notes for you?
Well, I want Jenny talk, but we're not going to hear Jenny. That's why we're on the
We tested this, and we will probably hear her.
I so appreciated that text popping up that night. It's something I needed at the time to hear talking about it.
Well, and I was grateful, when you responded to me, because I was having a very hard time. It's very vulnerable, especially for me.
You're like,
so
she said
your response did the same for me as it did for you. So
I signed up right then and there.
Yeah. So,
and now you regret it.
but thank you, because I just want you to know that it meant as much to me. It's so hard, and I can vouch for that. Putting yourself out there, I'm shy and quiet, or kind of usually
not so much anymore. Maybe.
I mean, but I've learned to put myself out there more, and I've met so many amazing people, and
that's a message that I think we want to really hit home for people listening. sometimes you kind of have, I say like, you got to feel every feeling. You got to embrace every feeling to heal it and all of that. But also sometimes you have to push yourself to do things that are uncomfortable. And I feel like a lot of people this weekend did things that were uncomfortable. Some of you came with friends, but some of you came alone.
I can't remember who I talked to, that walked in to Mean Eyed Cat last night and was like, I walked in by myself, and I'm like, that's a lot of effort, because I've been there many a times. I'm like, I don't want to walk into the bar or the party or whatever by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned how to do that.
Well, you learn that when you lose your second half of the scissor and you're suddenly wait, that came out kind of sexual. Sorry.
I know. I'm like, are we talking about scissoring again? Because
but I remember like the parent night, or any kind of, my daughter, like with the girls were talking about the daddy-daughter dance at Westwood. And, it's just like all those things that, that come up that involve your late spouse who's no longer there to pitch in.
But don't be afraid. Like several people this weekend jumped into something that they weren't sure about. They just jumped in, and I feel like in this moment it paid off. Sometimes it doesn't, but I just want to encourage somebody who's listening, jump in, and guess what? If you don't like it, you can get out quickly. Like,
you can leave. You can do the
we're not going to hold.
Bye.
Right.
I don't recommend it, though. Always say bye.
Okay. Hilarious.
Get your credit card.
Was there anything else? I'm very aware of the time. I could sit here all fucking night.
Yeah.
Yes. Get the mic, girl.
Yeah, get the mic.
All right, come on.
Well, now we're going to be here all night because it's my favorite subject.
Okay. And I could talk all night too.
Yes.
There are so many signs since my husband's, he died Easter Sunday morning 4 years ago, almost 4 years. And from numbers to hearts, I think if you open your heart, they'll speak. But sometimes I wonder, like, laying in bed at night, and I say, is it God speaking to me to move on, that he's there for me, or is it my husband?
I think they're intertwined now.
And it takes, for me, this is really hard for me to speak about it because I'm not a big speaker. But I open my heart every day and I look for signs, for encouragement. And I believe in God. I'm Christian. And, I think that's the only thing that really carried me through, because I believe there is a path for all of us. And whether it's the path you think is going to happen and you want to happen and it doesn't happen, it's the path that is chosen for you. And my family has grown closer to Christ through all of this. And maybe that's the design of all of it. I don't know. But that's what I choose to believe, is that there's hope, and you never have to feel that there's not a path, because God wants the best. And he's created all of us individually to be better people. And maybe it's something as tragic as a death of a loved one. I was married for 38 years. I was with him since 19. He was my best friend. He died of a stroke. He was nonverbal within 40 minutes. I was unable to even ask him, what do I do now? Our bucket list was all about us, and God had another plan. So now I have to look at my life and say, okay, I'm ready.
I'm willing. I'm open. You have another path and I just need to walk that path. But it's a very hard path to go because it's your desire over his will. And so how do you choose what is his will and what is your desire? That's the hardest thing of all.
This is, and this may be, whatever, take it or leave it, but this is how I imagine, and maybe I've talked about it on the podcast, I can't remember, but like the way that I kind of navigated Hunter's death was, and I dove into all these soul books. I was a crazy person. But what I came out with was, I imagine that before we ever got here, we're all sitting at a table and Hunter's soul is there, my soul is there, my whole soul family, whatever, however you look at that place. And I was like, I want to learn this. And then I'm going to do this because I'm like, feeling really, powerful up there. And I'm like, I can handle it all. And God's like, whoa, maybe that's a little much for this time. And I'm like, I got it. And Hunter's like, okay, well, I will help you reach that goal. But that means that I have to, bail out early so that you learn whatever you're supposed to learn. And I'm like, no problem. Cause we're all like in fucking heaven and it's awesome up there. And you're like, no problem. I got it. I can handle it. And then you get down here and you forget it all. And then the shit starts happening that what made me feel good, because I'm a control freak, is that maybe I chose some of this before I got here and then forgot it all. And then, by the way, sometimes you get derailed. Like my dad probably had a great idea before he got here, and then he became an alcoholic and went off the rails and fucked us all up. I mean, I'm great, but other people. Anyway, I'm going to edit that out. Anyway, but I love the idea. I love the idea for me. Cheers. But what I love about that thought is that there was free will forever and ever and ever. There's free will. And my free will before I got here was to learn, because I'm a learner. I want to learn. Like I just like feel it in my bones. And I was like that before. And so I was like, I got it, God. I can do it all. And God was like, no, maybe that's a little much. Maybe you shouldn't do the podcast. Maybe can we shave that off the top? Like you can do the widow thing with like the podcast. Like that's just like what's over the top.
Okay, now we're getting into the whole
right. But anyway, I just want to
talk to a medium.
Oh, right. Well, that's a whole other thing.
That a whole.
But I just loved the idea, especially in the early grief of, because you feel so out of control. You feel like nothing makes sense and you're so out of control. And so for me, everything is here to teach. Everything is teaching. And I've talked to Holly about this. She always says, oh, Toby was the fun guy. Toby was this, Toby was that. Well, guess what's happening? She's that person.
I'm so fun now.
I'm way more fun at Toby.
But I mean, that's
surrounding myself with fun people.
That's the point of like, whatever you believe, whatever, take it or leave what I said before. But like, we're in it now. And what are we going to do with it? Are we going to fucking sit down and be less of a person, or are we going to stand up and be more of who we are? And I feel like everyone in this room made the same decision. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys.
I think this is a great way to end it. Yeah. Cheers.
We appreciate you all so much for coming.
So fun.
Love y'all so much. Thank you for being here and supporting us.